Nice.
Thank you.
How about them taters?
It's great. Thanks. Right.
Good morning, Washington. Welcome. Still connecting. Tina, I like that picture of you in the chair with your uke. I hadn't seen that one. Yeah, right.
Thanks.
That by your house?
No, that was at a block party. I
Ah,
was in the middle of the road.
hey, honey. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, sunshine.
Good morning.
Good
Wish there
morning.
was sunshine here. We're all cloudy.
Well, then we just have to all depend on you then. Okay, then. No waiting to be present. Here we go. I'll mute everyone. Here we are. Just relaxing, yet vividly present. Just open up into immediately shifting into openness. Everybody here is a serious yogi, so just shift, but don't meditate. Just be as you are. Just a free flow of being. Just completely calm and relaxed. But notice that vividness. Just noticing the lucidity prior to any arising of luminosity, the playfulness. So notice any arising and just let it be. The ocean perspective. Just feel into the boundless stillness. Yeah, just a bit of a slow start because people are still popping in. Hi, Marguerite. Welcome. Karen, Eddie. Welcome, welcome. Just a welcoming of our family of like minded, loving intent. The welcoming of our own true essence, although that's incorrect because we can never be away from it. So the recognition of what we already are, over and over, recognition, recognition. opening up into a wider openness. And then more and more, just checking in. What source am I coming from? Expressing my life from? Brilliantly awakened awareness, with all the cells activated. Every cell a expression of the whole. Or the habitual what about me mind, with its tendency for a radical protection of what it thinks it is not. So I like everyone always to come into full openness even before we take any refuge, or first we take refuge in our own hearts and minds. Then we take refuge in our family of all beings. Taking refuge in the Buddha heart of being. Just being aware of being aware. So resting in awareness, since it has no observable qualities and is therefore usually overlooked. Come to rest into it, gaze out from the heart. So notice the always with usness of the sweetness of loving awareness. Always right here. Also notice it's ever present. Does not fluctuate in time. But because all appearance, all events, all thoughts, feelings, emotions, and perceptions fluctuate, come and go, it appears to make awareness fluctuate too. But the sun of beautiful, radiant, loving, awakened awareness is always shining. And then we just add the word knowingly. Please be the presence of loving awareness knowingly right now. So we just unveil the knowing quality, which is always shining in its knowing too, but it gets a little lost into just the knowing of objects or appearance. And then in these more profound non-dual traditions, and Sochen and Mahamudra in specific, it's a direct knowing. It shines the light of knowing upon itself. And then we allow the knowing of its boundless perspective to shine. The boundless loving sphere of Buddha mind. It's spacious and spontaneously bursting into presence, into beingness. And then in that boundlessness, from that boundless perspective, the entire material universe arises within consciousness or boundless Buddha mind. Consciousness is the absolute mystery cannot be known, but we can be it. And we can know that we are that. It's the absolute existing in itself, as itself. And when we are it knowingly, we can know that. Which is sad for the ordinary mind, the little what about me mind, because it will never get to experience heaven on earth, for which it has been longing all its life, because we have fallen asleep within our own competence. Awaken to awareness, Rigpa, is inseparable from any experience it has, and is absolutely unstained, unchanged, unharmed by any experience, no matter what the decibel level. And then there is zero distance between any experience and the perceiver. So when consciousness experiences something, it is that something. And then from that deliberate openness, love blossoms as the evolution of realization. Awareness is realization. And so to recognize and unveil our awareness is the liberation of the one that was never bound in the first place anyway. And then love will manifest as the purest way awareness expresses itself in a human life. Wholeness causes wholeness, and goodness blossoms as boundless goodness. And then we might feel more and more an inner unfolding, nearly a consistency, a texture. The texture of emptiness. And that texture is only because it's resonating through our body. So it has a somatic resonance, it has an embodiment. So then our body even becomes a beacon or a gateway where there is no wall into the wide openness of being. So there are different ways that we awaken throughout our day. And the more and more we actually deliberately practice, the more our body will go, hey you, just drop the patterns, the psychological patterns, the karmic patterns, and just come home higher up into the light, pull up higher into the light. From here to truly here, as Lama Surya says. And when you feel that, you feel more here, more now, more present. I feel more love saturating me. I feel I'm here because love is here. And then one might say, but I don't particularly feel love right now. The feeling of love in itself is also empty and a temporary arising and dissipating. But just the mere recognition of our true loving essence, just deliberately coming into open awareness, awakened awareness, Rigpa lovingly, is love itself. And then when we really open up into our beingness knowingly, our hearts feel like a shimmer of a rainbow on a sparkling spring day. Just the shining luminosity of our beingness. It is only when we stop or drop searching for happiness in objective and happiness and peace in objective appearance or experience. When we stop that movement and allow the mind to fall back deeper and deeper into the heart of awareness from which it has arisen, that we begin to experience or taste the lasting peace and fulfillment for which we have longed all of our lives. Right here, right now. So rest attention. Literally feel attention just coming to rest into the heart of awareness. So a more, not so focused, but a more open awareness, but radiant. Literally feeling the potentiality of the loving expression of awakened awareness in the world. In the empty and open essence, the radiantly lucid nature, and the manifesting compassionate responsiveness, we take refuge by recognizing and resting in this threefold innate Buddha-ness. That is the true nature of mind. Semni Nelak Tokpa Jinji Laptusol, please bless us that we may come to recognize the nature of mind, the natural state. For many years, I heard this a bit limited. I thought the natural state was reflecting on the nature of mind, the nature of mind being the natural state. And the word recognize or recognize before it kind of wasn't really felt properly by me. So the natural state is the recognition of the nature of mind. Again, the again unveiling of the nature of mind over and over until it's a continuous flow of recognition and a little bit of leaning back into our profound Buddha mind beingness while expressing in the world. Songye chodang tsoki choknam la Jangchu bardu dakni kyapsu chi Daki jin sogipe sonam ki Rola penshir songye drupar shok. In Buddha, Dharma, and supreme spiritual community, we go for refuge until fully enlightened. By the power of all six perfections, from generosity to non-dual wisdom, for the sake of all beings, may we realize beautifully awakened loving Buddhahood right now. May all beings possess happiness and the inner causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the inner causes of suffering. May all beings remain undivided from the sacred joy which is free from suffering. May all beings come to rest in great peace and equanimity, beyond attachment and aversion to friends, enemies, or strangers. With the wish to free all beings, we shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until the attainment of full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion today, in the Buddha's presence, we generate the mind of enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then, may we too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. Natural body, natural breath and energy. Maybe take a breath with me. Natural heart and mind. Natural free flow. Letting things come and go. Just spontaneously presencing, saturating the matrix of the now, a free flow of a stream of being. If you wish, join me for a refresh. Take a breath. Maybe doing even less. So maybe discerning the difference between being aware of being aware and just being. Being even more aware. There's absolutely no doing in any suggestions. All we have to do is feel the intent for a moment, and just the intent itself is enough for another layer of unveiling of our true nature. And then again, right at the heart of it, a few times, just again setting the intent towards awakening on behalf of all beings. And sometimes just opening up to that most profound intent, there's more ease in staying with the continuity of being, the recognition of being. no within, no without. All the knowing space saturating everything, an appearance or events, and the knowing, one inseparable field of being. Gazing out into the field of being, and shifting into being the boundless field of being. One unified field. Maybe we can discern the difference between ordinary awareness and awakened awareness by allowing it to be boundless and all-inclusive. There's a certain vividness, a bright awakeness, a sweetness, like a soft little wind. A soft little wind of beingness touching our skin and our hearts. Carrying the smells of a spring blossom, the sweetness. And a shimmering immediacy. And again, because it will never be influenced by experience, a purity. Although these are just like poetic little words, because we can't make them distinct. Just pointing really at the shimmer of awakened Rigpa awareness. The big open and the unceasing playfulness. in this whole and boundless open presence, thoughts arise into their immediate and spontaneous liberation. Letting come and goingness. That's the main practice. And the more we sit in that letting come and goingness, there's a more orderly flow of the playfulness of the awakened mind. And a blossoming of loving mind states. And a definite diminishing of the repetitive, not so skillful mind expressions. And then realizing that everything that arises is the expressive playfulness of awakened awareness. And you're sitting back and enjoying the flow. And indeed, maybe be the cause of world peace. May this world be healed and renewed. Maybe indeed be the essence of healing for all sentient beings in this interconnected sea of beings. Maybe learn more and more to express love, happiness, and peace. And maybe feel deeply into the beauty and boundless wholeness of our true nature. Maybe be open enough to let our heart shine with compassionate understanding in this ocean of beings. Just the intent coming from this openness is always sufficient for a shift in the expression of our true nature in the world. Just vowing to stay open and connected to our inner wholeness, and automatically wishing to hold all those that enter our realm so they might find their own boundless wholeness and creativity and loving creativity, and indeed may realize that love is found through loving. May they all be healed throughout their body-mind continuum, including the one on this seat. Just walking each other home. Maybe by saying, stop walking, you're already home. on that note. Thank you so much for your beautiful practice. Gewa di yurdu dak jokpa chempo drup gyornye doa chikyang malupa de sala gopar shuk. Through this virtue, may we swiftly realize and fully embody the natural great perfection, and ever bring all, without exception, to its complete realization. Jiang chup sem chok rinpoche, makye panam ke gyorchik, ke panyam par me paryang, gong ne gong du pelvar shuk. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. Oh yeah. May all beings everywhere with whom we are inseparably interconnected and who want and need the same as we do, may all be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, and free. May there be peace in this world and throughout all possible universes. An end to war, violence, poverty, injustice, and oppression. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey. All together, heart to heart. Love you very much. Thank you. Here we are. So, if you wish, tell me something about how your practice is going, or how it's reverberating in your life, or share something so we can feel our family resonance in each other's lives.
I'll say something.
Thank you, Terry.
I had to skip out for about 20 minutes because I had to make a speech, I guess. I had to give a little talk at the weekly Public Regulatory Commission meeting in Santa Fe.
Oh,
And that kind of thing, I get so nervous. But, you know, I had my words in writing, so that helps, but I still get nervous, right? But I had you guys in the background. You know, I had to turn the volume all the way down. So if you were talking, Timo, it wouldn't be heard by these guys, but you were there. You were there with me, and I wasn't as nervous. I had to do it last month, and I was so nervous. But today I wasn't so nervous. So thank you. Just always being there.
Thank you for telling us. So you were already a little less nervous than last month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because the first time I never had the experience, so I didn't know what to expect. So
No.
this time I knew what to expect. So
Do you get a little nervous when you speak in this space?
no.
No, that neither do I. I did. But sometimes when we, the first time we do it, it is a little bit like that. And then the nervousness is, of course, our sweet friend that is just helping us pay attention and wishes us to excel. And then it goes over the top a little bit, right? Because
Yeah.
also tapping into survival mechanisms and things like that, and it gets a little tight. It's like, but because ultimately it just wishes always to be seen as beautiful and perfect. So there's the survival mechanism is that it doesn't wish to be pushed out of the tribe, and that is the most scary thing really there nearly is for a human. So it's all leaning into that nervousness, and so yeah, it's how sweet is that? It just wishes us to thrive.
Yeah. Well, the alternative is don't do it, but
Yeah, then you end up not participating anymore in life, right? And of course, then you start not doing it more and more, and then
yeah.
just laying in bed with a blankie over her head.
Some days that's all good.
Some days that is self-care, right? Indeed. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys. I love you all.
Thank you. And So your talk went well then, right?
Yeah, it was just like 4 paragraphs of commentary on something that's happening or potentially happening that's really, really important here with regard to renewable energy and New Mexico thrusting forward with that. We have so much sunshine here. The fact that we're not further ahead in that arena um, needs to be attended to. So.
Yeah. Well, how great that you're participating in that healing situation.
Yeah,
How about water in New Mexico?
that's another story.
Okay. Anywhere in the Southwest.
Yeah, the big lake here is dreadfully low. And I've watched it. It was going down even before I left here in 2014. It's almost 10 years later now. Excuse me. It's terrible.
So you didn't get as much water there as California did.
Oh, hardly any rain here.
Okay. Yeah.
There is, there was snow in the mountains, and so that as it's melting, that's coming down off the mountain, but we didn't have much rain.
Yeah. Thank you. So tell us something else, someone. Tell us about your practice or your studies in this realm and how that's going.
My practice has felt kind of dim lately, a little not so vibrant. So this was a real treat to sit with your guidance because it always, I don't know, it just works for me very, very well. I get little very, very vibrant glimpses when I get to sit with your guidance. So thanks. So cool.
Yeah, you've been sitting with us for quite a few years. So you say it gets a little dim.
Mhm.
And so what does dimness feel like?
I don't know, because I recognize that it's this ordinary mind sort of comparing and contrasting. It's working, it's making up a problem and it's problem solving at the same time. And so I'm very aware that it's a kind of a concept, a condition that's not actually there. Um, I don't know. So it's all made up.
Yeah, kind of a subtle layer of it being a bit opaque or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then it appears to not allow the vibrancy to come through. But then actually
Yeah,
the opaqueness itself is the vibrancy too.
exactly, right?
Yeah. So when it's so actually that is also the playfulness of the awakened mind, the dimness. It's like so creative that it actually can veil itself. How amazing is that?
Yeah, mischievous, kind of.
Yeah.
Mhm,
And actually enjoying the story of separateness. Which
mhm,
even this gets a little bit of like a somatic component too, and that feels a little dull or something, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
But Timo, I'm curious how you said you had a retreat recently.
Yeah,
You led a
last
retreat.
week. I
How
wa-
was that?
well, it was a Mark retreat, so I did that with Gail. So Gail is the head of the IPP program, which it means Intensive Practice Program at UCLA. And it was great because we went, it was in nature. So on uh, Wednesday, it was like Wednesday late afternoon and evening, we were in a park in Ojai. And on Thursday, we were at Lake Casitas, which was at the lake in Ojai there. So we sat and we even rented a boat. And then I switched off the engine of the boat in the middle of the lake, and we just sat there bobbing on the water, and then back to the shores of it, and we sky gazed every day. So I introduced most of them to sky gazing for the first time. And then on Friday, we went to Krishnamurti's place. And and then Saturday, we went in the middle of an orchard, a orange orchard, so with lots of different citrus, mostly clementines, and so we were sitting in the center of the orchard. Is still an ancient, huge tree, oak tree. So we all sat under the canopy of that oak tree, while the soft wind. Well, that's why I said that in the meditation. The soft wind was carrying the orange blossom. It was so beautiful, and and so that was great. So and then the sky gazing. Everybody had everybody was a little separate, finding a view of the sky while laying under a tree or something. And I would visit all the let's say sky gazing stations and do one-on-ones with everybody, a little bit of and then you could do really specific little pointing outs on how to keep the mind in the sky. And everybody was really enjoying sky gazing because coming basically from a place where everybody's meditating with their eyes closed, kind of that introverted world, it suddenly was so open, and everybody was reporting on a more spacious openness. So really realized that these practices of just opening up are like so effective, even when you kind of sneak it in through the back door of a secular flow or something like that. So that was very, very effective, and appreciated. Yeah, so that was great. And
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
yeah, it was. And we're going to do it again, it sounds like. So maybe you can come and visit or something like that.
I wish. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, we can maybe figure out some pragmatic stuff for that to be possible.
So Timo, if you do that again, can others participate, or is it just around the school situation?
No, anybody can come.
Will you keep us informed about that? That sounds amazing.
I will. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah. So there are no specific plans yet, but it was hinted at that we're going to do it again. And because people like it, I see no reason why it couldn't happen again. And just have
How
to
many days was it?
Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday whole days, and Sunday morning. Yeah, kind of like a proper, retreat kind of rhythm.
And did you stay in a hotel?
No, I stayed with Alice, and so did Tina, because Alice lives in Ojai.
Well, please keep us posted on that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's great, especially all those wide-eyed people that are opening up into new perspectives of their own minds. It's just great. Tina's holding,
Oh, awesome.
did you see it? Tina was holding a picture of me steering the boat.
That's great.
Oh yeah, Tina was steering the boat too, by the way. Yeah, that's where we were sitting at the lake. Yeah, right. I'm spotlighting you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice.
Yes, I don't know if you can see that's the big tree under the orange grove. Like, oops, wait a minute.
Clementine.
There we were walking. Right. What else is interesting there? Poppies, oh hi, beautifulness.
Beautiful.
The canopy looking up, how huge this tree was. Dog. Yeah. Oh, there's Timo's car coming into the orange. The things they pick, they put the clementines in. Oops. Sky. So
Thank you,
it's
Tina.
lovely. Yeah, it was so fun.
Yeah, so this was a little bit of an experiment, and we were looking. It was a bit of a concern that we were doing such a floating or roving kind of um, retreat, and yeah, most people return kind of you know, to society. It's not residential, so everybody returns to somewhere camping, somewhere in a hotel, or staying with friends like we were, and so you just have to kind of navigate that. And actually, it's actually great practice, and then that's something we can talk about. So not just the end of the retreat is like the shifting back into society. It's actually every day, and then maybe next time we can talk a little bit more. Then when people return, how did it go and stuff. But slowly you learn on how to work with a retreat like that better and better. But it would be nice if it became a thing that can continue to happen. So, did anybody want to tell something about their practice or whatever is going on in your life that fits into our family?
I just had something happen during the non-meditation that I thought was it kind of amused me and I got a chuckle out of, and that was that I was really kind of comfortably resting, floating in awareness, and all of a sudden I just heard this voice say, "My issue with Lindsey Graham," and that was it's
That
kind
was
of
it.
like an awakening into the relative world.
That came out of your own mind, or did you hear like a radio
No,
blur?
no, out of my own, and I've had no reason to have Lindsey Graham on my mind. I haven't thought about him in a long time. I just
Oh, okay.
those words just came out of my mind.
Again, my problem with Lindsey Graham. That's what you heard.
My
That's
issue with Lindsey
oh my
Graham.
issue.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so okay then. Yeah. And so Lindsay is not a particularly difficult person for you in the public arena.
He's certainly not one of my favorites. But I have no particular. It, except for his kind of general stance on things, I have no particular issue with him right, that I'm aware of right now.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, that whatever comes up, if that's just in principle, when we keep things coming and going more and more, then the ultimate purpose is for the storehouse consciousness to start emptying itself, and the release of karmic patterns, and so so that's interesting that that one came up. But and then you discern, is this the clearing out of habitual patterns, or is this something really original? So it sounds a little bit like a pattern. When it's political, it usually is a bit of a pattern, right?
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a couple neurons left over from somewhere or other.
Yeah, yeah.
Spit it out.
Yeah, clean it. So okay, Lindsay has been cleared out. Well done. Hey, Bonnie.
Hi.
Hi.
So what can I say? So I'm doing some psychological work, doing some relative practice work.
Important.
And so that's, yeah, I'm excited about that. And so I think it will be helpful.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've done that. But it's not open, it's just different. So I'm doing actually some more concentration practice, a little bit of that, and also somatic practice, really going into the experience of different parts of the body.
Oh, that's great reporting. So, what is somatic practice? for you?
Well, just going through what I think is, or what the practice that I've been given is just doing body scan, but doing it very particularly, and to every, as small parts as I want to work with, and then making a note of the areas where I don't have any experience of the body, which are, does that make sense?
Very much, yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm just starting to do that. So that's new. I'll report back.
No, that's great. And
Yeah.
then, of course, like Lama Roger, Dan Brown, and Ken Wilber all say that, Western Western healing methods like psychotherapy are also a very valid practice for the Western mind in lieu of other relative practices. So that is, they feel that that could be sufficient for some. So, but it's yet very important to do the shadow work.
Yeah.
And so about the concentration practice, you've been pretty serious about the concentration for a while now. Do you feel that has any repercussions in your practice right now?
Well, I see it in my life, probably in my practice. My practice is a mix, because I really still I still have a hard time with open awareness practice sometimes. Like, I mean, in terms of not particularizing, things. So yeah. So there's, go ahead.
The particularizing being a distraction, right? Yeah, from open awareness. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I'm kind of hinting at, of course, that concentration practice has, a reverberation in non-distraction in open awareness practice. So I was just kind of checking in if that was happening a
So,
bit.
oh, if it's changing, if I'm noticing more,
Less distraction and less particularizing.
yes, I think, yes, that is true. And yeah. Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, it is good. It feels good. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. That's really
Yeah.
sweet of you. Thanks.
Thanks for asking.
So,
Hey, I heard a cool quote on particularizing, sort of. It's really short, and it might not be, maybe it doesn't pertain completely, but it's really simple. And I forget who said it, but I'll find out. It's just rocks are people, trees are people, animals are people, mountains are people. And I thought that was so cool because at first I interpreted, it's like, oh, you're all people. But of course, it's just they exist without the conceptualization, the separation that people make of them. And I just thought that was great.
That is great.
It is so simple.
Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, anything? Shall we go to our day? Stay present, stay open, stay with your love. And tomorrow Nathan will be here. Friday will be Pete. And Saturday will be an open sit because Lama Surya is doing a retreat. So we'll see you soon, maybe tomorrow. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Timo. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.